Yeah, still talking. Oh, okay. So what's happening, man? COVID fist pumping. Yeah.
Social distancing, of course. It's just the camera effects that makes
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Them old chestnut.
What's been going on, man?
Yeah, so bro, do you know, you feel that need that you gotta come down the studio and you just gotta release everything.
Yeah.
Obviously, this last 2020 was a crazy year. So much stored up, so many beautiful, positive things, also some negative things. Do you know what I mean? I just wanna say my piece, man. I know you're the man to come to for this because I know that you're big in the game when it comes to these podcasts.
Don't know about that. We're trying quietly, but trying. So yeah, man, 2020, big year, as you said. Obviously, a lot went up. Slow down, first of all, just to give some context. When's the last time that we spoke on a podcast? It must have been over a year ago.
Yeah, it was before COVID. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So obviously we got a lot to kind of fill in.
And obviously you have touched bases and seen what's going on in that time.
Yeah.
But so let's take it back then. Let's take it way back to the original. Yeah.
So when how far do you want to go back, bro?
I want to go back, man. I want to go like start 2020, innit? Like if I ain't seen you really since then. So when it first happened, I know you're a jet setter, innit? Here, there, everywhere, spreading your message.
Yeah.
What was that like then? Obviously, the first when it happened.
So like 2009, at the end of 2019, I was in Brazil. I was obviously doing my plant medicine retreat away in Brazil, and I was getting that all set up. We'd like done all the filming. The website was there. It's still there now, but obviously we're waiting to get people over. Obviously with the COVID that's going on. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that was all running. Then I flew out to Thailand. I spent about a month there. I went with my ex-girlfriend there, and that was a big 2020 test in itself.
Really?
Yeah, man. Like, I feel like sometimes in our life, like, we have to face our shadow, and if we have to kind of like evolve out of our shadow to be born into the new version of ourselves, like Morgan 2.0 or something. It's like a phoenix, man. Do you know what I mean? I had to burn to like be built in something new. And then God bless her, but she come to test me, fam, like big time.
That proper test.
Yeah. Everything that I was worried about, she just seemed to manage to be able to do it.
Yeah, I remember speaking to you at the time, and I know that point wasn't a good point for you.
Nah,
not at all.
Everything that I built up, it was almost like it could have all come unstuck had I like carried on down that toxic route in that relationship.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? The person I built myself into, the person what I was trying to represent was all being tarnished and messed around with obviously the toxic relationship I was in. I mean, like the old bill was turning up and like flipping riot bands. It was just madness. Do you know what I mean? And I mean, this all stems down to like substance abuse.
Okay.
Yeah,
on her behalf, on both behalf.
I mean, like, but she's got a dead serious problem. But obviously, for me myself, I've always had a thing with it. So us two together was just absolute calamity.
It's like gasoline on a fire.
Big time, mate. We could have set on the Houses of Parliament. You know what I mean? Set fire to them, above Guy Fawkes levels. But so yeah, I feel like that gave me a lot of lessons in 2020 about relationships and about finding someone that brings you peace, because a lot of the time in our today's culture we're going towards the lust, we're going towards the dopamine effect, the kind of
it's that reward seeking.
Yeah.
Everything we do has to be reward seeking, or it's deemed as boring or not worth doing. It's that constantly looking for that high.
Yeah.
But you can't ever be satisfied. If you're always looking for a high, when are you ever going to be satisfied?
Yeah.
It's one of the teachings, what's it called? Like the Buddhists try and teach you against. So it's that desire in it. So the thing of like trying to learn about what makes you happy and what you desire, they're like two different things. Like desire comes with what's the word I'm looking, pleasure element. It's not real happiness, it's just pleasuring you, which is why you get that spike in dopamine. And then after it's gone, whatever your original mind state was, you just revert back to that.
Yeah, well, it's like a roller coaster effect, isn't it? Ups and downs, where you never really build the serotonin, which is the chemical that you need to kind of have that nice balanced state. Mm-hmm. And I reckon 2020 for me has been about kind of building that serotonin up, that natural peace in the present moment, amongst all the chaos. Because of what I'm learning is you can't affect what's outside the physical vehicle. You can to an extent. but you're not the master of the universe. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You had a puppet master and that, so like things are gonna go wrong outside of you. Yeah. So basically, you've got to be able to be the captain of your ship within inside yourself. You know what I mean? You've got to call the shots, so you've got to inflict discipline upon the brain and the mind. And you've also got to kind of like cultivate a beautiful, happy, loving energy within inside yourself, so that no matter what comes at you, you can deflect it and take it.
How do you do that though? Like realistically, how do you do that? I mean,
I'm telling you, I'm getting good at it. I believe meditation is a pivotal thing for that.
In what way?
So basically, it kind of lets you know that this outside world is almost illusionary in a sense. So for example, like your boss don't like you and all these things are going off, you think it's the end of the world. When you get in meditation, when you hit these deep states and you literally go into like, I don't know, theta or delta state and that, you kind of like detach from the body anyway, and you kind of just see everything like, God, what was I even worried about? It's a complete reset of it, like it's not.
So is it detachment, or is it becoming awake to the fact that a lot of the things that we do worry about are just social constructs?
Yeah, that's it.
Like, I think for me personally, it's the reason why I think I don't really get panicked about a lot of things is because there's like a hierarchy of needs.
Yeah.
And I always feel like, you know what, I'm always going to meet my hierarchy needs. Like, I'll be able to get a roof over my head. Yeah. I'll be able, to eat. I've got my family there for my love and support. So all the rest, I think it's called, is it Haslow's hierarchy of needs?
Yeah.
But all the rest of the stuff is just a construct of it. I personally don't need them.
Yeah, of course. And I mean, it's also, you find in today's world, a lot of people are in survival mode.
Yeah.
So they're striving to get those hierarchy of needs. Do you know what I mean? But like you said, once you get them hierarchy of needs, then I feel like the journey's awakening. I feel like it's
But how can you become awake when you've been socially conditioned for the last 30, 40, 20 years to think that your worth is what you're wearing, what you look like, what other people think of you, and not your actual intrinsic, like your morals and your character. How can you rewind that?
But I think first of all, you've got to kind of wake up to the paradigm that you've been given from a child doesn't actually serve you and your best interests.
Okay.
Once that has been completely awakened to, then it's almost like Morpheus with the red and the blue pill. You know what I mean? You need to go and deprogram yourself, because if you can be programmed, you can as easily be deprogrammed as well.
Yes.
So,
but it's time scales, isn't it? Like it takes 30 years. Well, it probably doesn't take 30 years to program people, but by the time people have actually, I don't want to say woke or time people are becoming aware of the programming, it's that they're 30 years deep.
Yeah, and also as well,
you can't turn that around in 6 months.
Well, I mean, you can definitely speed it up in the sense that obviously the intensity as which you were being programmed for the 30 years was quite low. Do you know what I mean?
Do you think? I think it's relentless.
But I mean, you are.
It's relentless from the moment you come out.
Oh no, you are. But I'm saying you're not intentionally doing it as a person. It's happening to you, and you're kind of falling into it. But when you kind of go against the current, and you're going right, the materialism. I've got all these Louis Vuitton bags. I've got all this Gucci stuff. I've got this Range Rover. All this stuff. I've got bills coming. Do you know what? Let's start cutting all them bills down. Let's start going shopping there and doing all that, and let's just try and live more simply, so I can start to have the time and the presence to be able to work on my inner world. Do you know what I mean? So you can go proper aggressively at the deprogramming stage, because I've done that myself, and I reckon there is it's definitely a brave move to do it, because you're tampering with your brain. Do you know what I mean? You're tampering with your social construct as well. So your friends, your family, the world that you've built. You're going to have to go against the current. Do you know what I mean? Yes. Some people are going to come on a journey with you. Some people are going to combat it. Do you know what I mean?
How do you feel your reception has been with that?
It was chaotic. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Absolutely chaotic, yeah. It was like I was like the Mr. Material. Like, do you know what I mean? Like football as a kid, and then obviously went on to be on X on the Beach, which is like TV, yeah. And all about that world. And then when I kind of a lot of things happen to me. They always say like a great awakening, a great spiritual awakening comes after, a lot of the time, after huge trauma, like which for me was my dad's death, and then a big breakup with a girl.
What year was that? Your dad's death?
So that would have
How
been,
old was you?
So I would have been 27.
Okay.
So it was about just under 5 years ago now. And then within quick succession, within a couple of months, a girl that I really loved at the time, she kind of like left me.
Yes.
And it was through, so she left me as well. So it was like my whole world was ripped upside down. Plus my little brother had moved to Australia and he just got his citizenship. So he was like, he's gone as well. So in a space of a short time, I lost my little brother. I was super close with. My old man I was super close with. And then the girl that I thought was loving my life. So it was like bang. And then I did what every stupid person does, and I literally hit the bottle. Do you know what I mean? I had enough money around me to kind of like drink and party and just literally escape it as much as possible. But you find out when you go on that journey of self-destruction, this life is not free at a spiritual level. If you decide to press the fuck it button long enough, something's coming for you, whether it's your own self, whether it's they talk about in the Bible, your enemies roaming around like a roaring lion waiting for whom it can devour. Whatever it is, I found my experience was there's something that comes for you, man. Do you know what I mean?
Do you think like when you automatically bring religion into a conversation, people just start to think that you're crazy?
Of course they do, bro, and that's obviously because of the programming. Because if you look at today's world, Ryan Garcia, the top new and upcoming boxer, who's like absolutely lovely guy, he's talking about Twitter shadow banning him and taking him off Twitter because he's talking about Jesus and he's talking about his faith and about God and about boxing. But then he's saying like, look, you're all letting pornography carry on in these Twitter accounts and all these like things that children are able to see, but you're not letting me talk about my faith in Jesus. You have to kind of worry and think about maybe there's an ulterior motive, an agenda going on within the social media world, and the people that run it at the top level is maybe they're trying to program the masses into a certain level of like what's real, what's not.
Yeah, put them in a haze. I think it's easy to do, isn't it? Like, because I think, get this right, I think that, I don't want to say affluent people, but I think decision makers and people who, capitalists, major venture capitalists basically, decision makers, people, the 1%, there's a lot of opportunity in chaos.
Of course, yeah.
So I feel like when people don't really know what's going on, if they've got a clear picture and a clear vision, it's only going to make them more successful or more in their terms of being successful.
Yeah.
I want to talk about like shadow banning and banning on social media platforms. Like, what do you think of that? Because it has been happening a lot. And I think it's been since the first lockdown.
Yeah. And it's just sped up now. I've noticed since New Year's Day this year, 2021. I've been shadow banned and I've experienced it myself firsthand. I've had moments of it over the last couple of years because I'm very vocal on Instagram.
Yes.
And I'll watch my story and it's always around 2,000 each day. I'm watching every story and I'll put like 10 to 20 stories on per day. I'll pop it on it. And this year, especially, the moment I mention anything that's against the narrative on the television about the pandemic, the virus, or about my faith in God, I'm going from 2,000 to about 80.
Do you think that's the actual program Instagram, or do you think that's your followers? Do you think that is switch?
No way. I've been saying the same thing. You know I have. I've been saying the same thing for like 4 years. I've been saying the same thing day in, day out, and I'm only getting more and more knowledgeable about it. But it's never I've never just one day said I'm going to start talking about this. I've been talking about it since day dot, and then people have been on it. And it's like recently, it's like the moment I say it, this NHS thing goes, if you want the real information, this comes on the bottom of the screen, and then like boom, you go to 80 people, only 80 people are seeing your post, and they've got to search you out and look for it. They were 100%, And then it says to you that you're not in a democracy, you're not in a world of freedom of speech, and therefore, it's like, what I see as well, we're not even having, like, with all this thing, this lockdown thing that's happening here, it's almost like we're just being told what to do and it's going to run no matter what we do or say. There's no kind of like democracy in the sense of like when we had a vote about Brexit, we should be having a vote about this. Do you know what I mean? There should be
I don't think we should have a vote about this, but I definitely think we shouldn't have had a vote about Brexit.
Yeah. Well, that's David Cameron being silly and just like overstepping the mark, thinking that people were more awake than what they probably were.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's really weird as well, like when we talk about the systems of today, so if we're talking about, like you're just saying, sensory. First of all, I don't really think, I believe in freedom of speech to a degree. You still have to be responsible for what you're speaking about.
Yeah.
I believe in. So yeah, I believe in freedom of speech, but to a degree. Like we're talking about democracy, like I've said this for years, that democracy is just a delusion.
Yeah.
Because it's not even feasible to have a truly democratic state. Like there's too many different pawns. The differences in our government are very centralized, so they're not different at all. And that started when manufacturers started selling off parts of the the private industry. I think our media, or what we deem, so this is the problem as well. We as people are starting to deem social media as media.
But I think at least social media, you're getting an ulterior opinion, which is beautiful.
But is an opinion valid off Debbie from down Sainsbury's over?
Well, I think, do you know what, I'm going to tell you right now.
I'm just asking.
Do you know what the new language is going to be, brother? Right? And this is where your faith's going to come into it. The new language of the people is going to be intuition. Now, you know as well as I do, someone's coming who's just murdered 3 people, yeah, right, and comes in your presence for long enough, yeah, you're going to know, right, there's something a bit shaking, a bit dodgy, you're going to feel it, bro, you're going to know. Now, I know with all my being what is going on right now with this pandemic, something just don't sit right with me, bro.
So what do you think doesn't sit right? Like what?
So
what
I just think the way that...
Do you think it's real? Let's start with that. I
think it's a strain of flu. I think the worst case scenario is a strain of flu.
Yeah, which it is.
But it ain't nowhere near as deadly as what they're doing now. They're shutting down the economy, and like obviously they're putting people on furlough, and there just seems to be an ulterior agenda with this massively. It's coming from all angles, and then for me, it's blatantly obvious to see. Could be all day talking about that.
So do you think that for the sake of the few, the good shouldn't be? It should just be let to do what they want. So for the sake of the many rather than the few is what I'm saying to you.
Well, I just think to myself, the idea that fit, strong, healthy people should be taking some foreign vaccine inside their body is absolutely crazy. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Well, we do it all the time. This is the one thing that amuses me, because we do it all the time. We do it with everything. I'm a diabetic. I've been diabetic since I was 4.
Yeah.
I could never tell you what was in it. Look how many diabetics there are on a daily becoming diabetic.
Yeah.
Look how many people take asthma medication.
But you need that medicine, do you know what I mean? You need it, you're diabetic, you get diabetic medicine. I'm not, there's nothing, I'll go in a ward for the COVID, mate. I ain't bothered, do you know what I mean? I know I'm fine with it. I've got enough of it. I'll go at my own risk. So if I'm going to go at my own risk, yeah, I don't need to have a vaccine about it. And anyone that does have a vaccine, literally, then fair play to you, sweet, take the vaccine. I hope it makes you feel more safe at night. If you're that fearful about it. Do you know what I mean? But you shouldn't be trying to push on your fear to other people, because, let's be honest, they're not worried about it. Do you know what I mean?
And the reason why I ask you this is because you're a man of religion.
Yeah.
So you have to believe in faith.
Yeah.
That things that just because you can't see them or you don't, might not affect you personally, that's faith, and it's believing in something that there is no actual objectual, evidence that it exists, which is God. So when people say,
but there is evidence that God exists now. They're starting to realise that through quantum physics and through loads and loads of things, there seems to be...
Not God in the sense of...
Not a man in the clouds now, but there seems to be a creator. Everything's pointing towards a creator of some sort.
There's just loads of different theories in there, because some people think there's a simulation. Like,
that rolls into it as well. Like, God could be the creator of the simulation. True. That's huge, man. This is a billion-year advanced technology that we're in. It would be a huge one.
All right, let me bring back to COVID. With COVID now, are you saying that, because you're just saying you go somewhere and if you're feeling healthy, but it's not really about you. So if 1% of people get COVID, there's 63 million people on this. So what's that, like 6 million? It's 1%. Or is it 600,000? 600,000, sorry, is 1%. 600,000 people to die.
It's not even that many though, is it? It's like 99.7 or something, they reckon, that actually die. And these people usually are over the age of 85 years old, or have long-suffering health conditions as well.
So does that mean that their life is less valuable?
No, it
Should
doesn't.
we not
But
be trying to protect them?
But also as well, what you've got to look is the COVID's the tip of the iceberg. If you look at all the repercussions that's stemming down from this lockdown,
100%.
right, are for me vast outweigh what they're doing. And I think it's very, very corrupt what's going on personally. I think I don't feel like it's in the betterment of these old people.
What's the agenda? What do you think the agenda is?
The agenda is, which has always been since the dawn of time, if you believe in God and the devil, you believe in the negative and the positive and the yin, the yang and everything like that. It's to gain control, more control over the human being.
Okay, but how in what sense? How does COVID help?
Because there's a massive form of data collection that's going on right now through the NHS.
More profitable than oil.
Yeah, with the NHS test and trace. So they're gathering all your details, every single thing, and they'll sell them off to the highest bidder. Do you know what I mean? Government programs, I believe. I know that for a fact. And what else would there be? So there's obviously to do with, the currency. How they keep giving all these people furlough money, this money that seems to, they always talk how broke we are as a country and that we're struggling with this and that. And they're just printing money for no reason. I wouldn't it be beautiful in 2 years when they go, you know what, we've spent so much money, trillions of pounds on this COVID. Now the currency's popped and now we're all going to have to go digital. And literally like, that's the way to kind of get everyone's taxes in.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So there's that level of it. There's also trying to bring in a new kind of pharmaceutical world where we can cure every illness with a jab or a tablet, and it's just like trying to grow that to basically make you believe less about your own immune system.
I felt like we were kind of moving away from that, like the biomedical model, like everything can be not even cured, just treated. It's not like they're trying to cure things anymore. It's just something can be treated with medicine rather than actually going down a holistic route.
Yeah,
and saying like, you know what? But this is what I mean. Not recently, in recent times, the word like they're trying. Well, maybe it's just tokenism or lip service, but a lot of stuff about mental health. You can go to your doctors now and rather be prescribed like antipsychotics or things like that, antidepressants. You can go and get a gym membership. It's called a social prescription, which is there, but people don't know about it.
Oh wow!
Do you know what I mean?
I didn't know about that either.
That's what I mean. There's loads of things you can do, but for some reason, like they put them in place, but then they don't tell anyone about it. So then they can say, "Oh no, well you could have done that then," and you're like, "What do you mean? No one ever told me that existed, but it was there." Do you know what I mean? So
yeah.
I don't know, man. I think it's weird. I always think I'm one of the people who says never say never.
Yeah.
So
that's great.
I don't think that it's past people to want control or to want, for everyone to have a vaccine for some secret, seedy, sordid reason. But I can't put my finger on what that would be as yet. Like for me, there's easier ways to do the things that the main thing that I do think is being ushered in by this is getting rid of money. I think that's going to be massive as well. It's going to have a bigger impact, but it won't take like 6 months, 7 months.
Create healthcare in order to bring in the new banking system.
Yeah. So this is what I'm trying to say. That to me is like a big agenda. But people, when you say things like, people go, "You crazy? Why would you do that?"
But they're not thinking 5, 10 years ahead. They're not thinking about the grand plan. They're only seeing what's in front of them. So when you've got a kind of visionary mindset where you can see trends and you can see movements coming in, you can almost half predict the future to an extent.
Yeah, it just repeats itself, doesn't it? Really, it does.
And this is what you said, I can't really see this evil agenda, but throughout history, for thousands of years, as long as we've ever known, there has always been dictators and people who have evil agendas, and I don't think in 2021 it's any different.
No,
right? Absolute power corrupts absolutely. You've got to be some special kind of human being, probably Jesus level, to be able to have all the power in the world and everything at the click of a finger and not be corrupted by it. And I definitely don't think the people that do have that sort of power are angelic beings who want the best for humanity. I definitely feel like there definitely could be an agenda. And I think that we always have to kind of, as children of this earth, keep our eyes awake to that being a possibility. Because I think these days you have to look at it. We can't go to nuclear war with other countries. Everyone dies. It's game over. That's been done. Do you know what I mean? The new war, is almost an invisible enemy. Do you know what I mean? Which will come through into your homes through social, through like the media,
Internet.
through many internet,
Yeah.
many things. Obviously, the shadow banning that's going on now. Okay, let's control what certain people think is the narrative and what they're allowed to say and what they can't subliminally.
The thing is, though, with the thing with shadow bannings and banning in whatever censorship, you can still say what you want to say. You just can't use their platform. Like we're fighting for equality on a tool that is owned by the people that you're fighting against.
Yeah, I know.
So why would they let you slander, slag, do that to me and go, all right, you can do what you want to do. And everyone goes, that's not freedom of speech. You ain't got freedom of speech. You just signed terms and conditions. You're on Facebook. We own you.
Yeah, which is
Come on,
yeah. But I mean, but obviously there's got to be some hopefully somewhere, and there probably is somewhere that like they just let you freely speak. Do you know what I mean?
I think things do start like that. I think things.
Well, I believe governments infiltrate these people anyway. I do. I think like Facebook is government controlled. I know police basically do a lot of their tracking on criminals through Facebook. I mean, like it'd be a perfect plan, wouldn't it? Imagine the CIA like 20, 30 years ago. Let's make the internet. Let's basically give it to everyone. Let them all get used to it, and then we can watch everything. And then eventually, once we get everyone signed up to it and plugged in, then we'll start condensing it and saying what you can say and what you can't say. Beautiful, beautiful plan, yeah? Do you know what I mean? So I just feel like we ain't careful and people aren't awake to the fact, for me it's about wait, then we'll end up like China. Do you know what I mean? And China for me it's not a free place, bro.
Well, no, it's definitely not. Is it communist China?
Yeah, communist,
a dictator. I can't remember the guy's name who runs China, but they've got no internet out there. Everything has to be government.
Yeah, nothing from outside China's coming in. Like so, like our media can't go into China. They can't connect with people. Is it outside of China and stuff like with for social media? I don't know. There's a lot of strict laws around China and what the people are allowed to be exposed to.
Yes. Is that good or bad though?
I think we are.
Do you think that we're exposed to too much?
Listen to this. I did a mushroom trip the other day, bro. And basically, the universe, as we know, science is telling us, is ever expanding. Yes. Right? Therefore, our mind, our energy, our hearts should be ever expanding. There should be no block. There should be no barriers on our love and our mind.
Yes.
Right? Only evil wants to block that mind, and I don't care for whatever reason it is. It should not be blocked.
But is it evil if you're blocking it from evil? If China look at the world and go, fuck it, man, look at the internet, man. Like, look at all this. You got like, I can literally go on the dark web and find the most disgusting things: people killing people, chopping people up. You know, the promoting just putting dirty, unhealthy things in your body. I mean, how many people actually use the internet for good stuff? I'm not saying they don't, but there's a lot of things that China say. You know what? Fuck that shit. No, we'll block all of that. All of that can get blocked, and then we can just do our own good stuff. Yeah, but I'm not saying that's what they are doing, but I'm just saying it was.
But even on the grand scale of things, if you look about the planet awakening human consciousness and getting to a certain level, which in Buddhism they would call adulthood, and most people never reach adulthood. Adulthood being you are totally responsible for yourself and everything that happens to you. Right? Therefore, you can have pornography there, you can have all these drugs and things available to buy. But you are so responsible and you love yourself enough, and protect your energy that much that you don't go do them things, but you don't learn without trial and error. Like I've gone and done every drug under the sun. I've been involved in all sorts of craziness. And it's like, you have to learn through pain, through failure, through them things. That's the journey on this planet. To be completely like, almost like the Garden of Eden, unexposed to it. Yeah, bubble. Do you know what I mean? Eating the forbidden fruit in the Garden of Eden was the best thing that ever happened to humanity. It gave us choice. It gave us options to kind of walk our own world. Because before that, we didn't even know what being naked was. We didn't even know it was like what you're doing with your cock hanging out. Do you know what I mean? It was like we didn't know anything about in them stories, them ancient stories that seem to touch all of us at a deep level. But
you say that, but they didn't know about that stuff. So this is the thing, like even with the Garden of Eden and Adam and Eve. They must have had it in it because they ate the bloody apple.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They ate the apple. So, do you
they was given right and wrong, weren't they? As soon as they were given the option of what's right and wrong.
Weren't they, after that?
Yeah.
But do you need, like you just said, you need to learn through doing things? No, I don't need to kill someone to know that it's bad. Is that an extreme?
That's an extreme. But I mean, at the same time, It's like,
So when you have kids, do you think you want your kids to go through heartache and pain so they'll be a more rounded character, or do you just think, you know what, I just want them to be as happy as they can be? That's it. I don't care if they don't know they're missing out on it. How they're gonna know they're missing out?
I think all you do with your children is protect them from real danger. So absolute danger. There's a difference in fear and danger. Fear is illusionary, and I believe that everyone should work in this life to eradicate fear from their mind as much as possible, because some of the worst things on the planet are done through fear. But danger,
Good though.
fear can obviously can motivate you, can drive you, but I mean, with regards to danger, I mean, like, danger's real. You know, if you literally, like, I don't know, jump
54,
step off a skyscraper, you're gonna fall to your imminent death. That's danger. But literally, like, a spider running across the floor in your living room is not gonna kill you. It's not gonna harm you whatsoever. That's fear. For me, if you're that scared of spiders, you need to go and sit in a room full of 10,000 spiders and sit there all night until you're no longer scared of spiders anymore. Do you know what I mean? Like, I was terrified of heights, like, so bad, bro. Like, vertigo. When I used to get planes, I used to have to drink alcohol because all I thought about was there's 30,000 feet below my feet, and I'd have panic attacks on this, so I'd have to drink alcohol. Anyway, when my dad died, he was a very scared man towards the end of his life, and it's crazy because he used to be a high dive boarder.
Okay.
You know, on the swimming pools, you still the somersaults and that. He broke his back, and ever since then he got in fear with it all,
Yes.
And like, I watched him towards the end of his life. High dive.
About Tom Daly and that.
Yeah. So I watched him towards the end of his life, God bless him, be quite scared of things. So when he died, I was like, you know what, I can feel this, I call it a disease fear. I started growing in me. I felt like I was getting more scared of a lot of things. Do you know what I mean? I was like, oh man, I don't want to end up like my dad. Do you know what I mean? So I was like, right, you're scared of heights. I went and jumped that plane. Do you know what I mean? 15,000 feet. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Are you still scared of heights?
Nah, not that much, man. Okay. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not over enthusiastic about getting an 11-hour flight or something. Do you know what I mean? But I don't have to drink alcohol to get on the plane. I can sit there. I went to Brazil in December, and we went through some crazy turbulence where it was almost like dropping 20 stories and that. Do you know what I mean? Like, belly's going. And I was just like, yeah, man.
What was that like? Brazil, December, obviously, that was like mid COVID pandemic. So what's it like out there, bro? Are they doing the same as we're doing here? Lockdown and...
No, bro. And all the things that you're hearing on the news about, Brazil's got this new strand. I reckon they're trying to manipulate currency by putting out propaganda like that, because they can mess with people's countries and everything, can't they? Because I'm speaking to people in Brazil, like, have you got this new strand? What's going on? They're sending me videos of them all in Sao Paulo and in Rio, all dancing and kissing and hugging in the most busy central bars and restaurants now. And they're like, what pandemic, man? Right? And it's like, it's like, don't go to Brazil. And it's like, don't go to South Africa. They got these straight. It's like, mate, it's so corrupt, bro. It's a joke. And the problem is, they don't want you traveling around the world, because the more you travel around the world, the more you can get an insight as to what the global the powers that be, what they try to do by manipulating propaganda. When you only live here and you're only ever really here, I don't know, you don't see what they do manipulating
it's not been institutionalised, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, like the poor Middle East, I mean, they've been blown up, smashed to pieces, and they robbed on all levels.
You're not hearing anything about any of that anymore.
No.
Before, I'm sure there's like wars going on in countries now that would have started while this pandemic's going on. People wouldn't even know that they're going on.
Yeah. That's it. Like, there's famine in Africa and things like that. Do you know what I mean? Like blowing these numbers that we're getting for COVID out of the water.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Out of the water, man. Like, children literally ribs. Like, do you know what I mean? It's just like, what is going on in the world? This for me has never been about health. It's totally about control.